Hello, and welcome to Make a Difference, the show about how volunteers are making a difference every day right here in Montgomery County. I'm your host, Sandy Smith. We're back with our Montgomery Serves Award winners. Chris King, co-founder of NNIA and Volunteer of the Year winner, Viveka Sinha, Youth Volunteer of the Year winner, and Dr. Marisa Rice, Vice President of Xi Sigma Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which was our Volunteer Group of the Year winner. Welcome back to Make a Difference, everyone.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
It's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Viveka, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. And I want to ask you about your volunteerism. First of all, do you think that you will continue to make volunteerism a priority as you move forward in life?
Definitely, I definitely think so. I really hope I can continue the organizations that I'm working with right now through college and through my professional journey. But if not these organizations, then something else, because I truly believe that volunteerism is important. It's an important aspect of our lives in general. As well-rounded people, volunteerism is an important aspect.
Well, that's great to hear. And don't forget the Volunteer Center is here to help you do that. But you touched on a point. What would you say to encourage other young people to volunteer? Because it seems like after high school and you meet those 75 hours, or during high school when you meet those 75 hours, that's it. People just kind of fall off until maybe sometimes, they reroute it and come back later on. But being the youth volunteer of the year, what could we do? What could everyone do to encourage other young people to volunteer? Not necessarily high school students, but maybe right in your age group where you're going off to college or you're in college.
Yeah, definitely. I think every person can volunteer. Every person can make a huge difference. I think something I've noticed in my peer group and people my age is that people don't think that one individual person can make a difference. I've heard this especially surrounding eco anxiety and environmental impacts. People say that anything I do won't make a difference. There's so many people, but that's the problem, that each person has to take the initiative themselves and start making a difference. And then also, not only are you reducing whatever impact you would have on the climate, but also you're setting this precedent for your peers and for your family. You're showing them, look, I can do this, so can you. And you're really shifting a mindset for a lot of people. And something else, Gandhi's quote, I kind of live by it: be the change you wish to see in the world. I think it's really important. I couldn't have said it better myself, because I think you really have to notice the needs in your community and what is lacking, what is the problem there, as Chris noticed, that what the government is failing to do, or on a smaller scale, every person can make a difference in their community as well. Like what I don't know, the school board or peers are failing to do in that way. Every person can step in and bridge the gaps in what everyone else can't do, because we have to work together and utilize our skills.
I love it. I mean, did you hear a young person quoting Gandhi? I love it.
I do.
Amazing.
This is our future. Yay.
Yes, absolutely.
So Marisa, as standout volunteer organization in Montgomery County this year, what do you think Xi Sigma Omega's contributions have been?
So unlike, I guess, at the individual level, you guys have your focus and your activities. With Xi Sigma Omega, and especially with a chapter of 100 members, we've had the opportunity to kind of expand our net, if you will, and expand our reach. And so, I just highlighted a few things. Back in May of 2023, we supported a project that was very unfamiliar to me called Mother's Day Box. And it was an initiative to recognize those mothers who experience infant loss. And we crocheted little baby blankets for them. And so that way that was able to represent, that loss that they had, but they had this crochet blanket that they could have. And then I wanted to highlight, a couple of our initiatives that are large scale, which is our CHIP Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack had to write that down because it's, you know, we love these acronyms and so forth. And we've supported the students at College Gardens Elementary School with weekly distributions of food. And so we provide the food to them, and then the school distributes it because we want to do it in a way that the school has a relationship with the students. So we go, we give it to them, and then the school does it. But we did have the pleasure of meeting some of the students that we supported, and roughly around 36 packs are delivered each week to the schools there. Another initiative that we have is called our YLI, that's your Youth Leadership Institute, and it's youth led. You know, many times we tell the youth what to do. And as we hear from our young lady right here, that's not the way to go. Let's hear from them. You guys have the knowledge. You know what it is that you want. And so we give them the modules. They tell us how they like to implement the modules. We are there just to support them. Some of them have related to their elevator pitch. Some of them have related to dance. We had a wonderful activity where the chapter engaged with them and we danced and had a good time. And then also we have a mental health initiative, and this kind of stemmed from something that we were doing in the past related to the Stepping Stone Shelter, where we provided them with wellness baskets, and they were so appreciative of us coming and just taking the time out to actually do that. And then we talked about, you know, Sandy said from 20 all the way up to our seniors, we had an activity where we offered physical activity through Zumba. And so we did that virtual, and the community was invited to participate with us. And then I talked about enhancing our environment. We've taken to the streets and doing a tree planting initiative along with another chapter that's in Montgomery County, Theta Omega Omega. And we were able to plant 5 trees. And then last but certainly not least, we have been helping to maintain a community garden at Mount Calvary Baptist Church, which is in Rockville. And so that's very exciting things. And then, you know, when we think about social impact and social justice, you know, really getting folks out in a bipartisan approach to voting, exercise your right to vote. So doing the voter drives, we just participated in the African American Health Program Community Day in May of 2023 to do that, and then have done some work with Montgomery County's women's legislative briefing. So, you know, we try to get out there, we try to make an impact. And, you know, I know one of the things that we talk about, you know, our contributions, you know, I think for us, we never stop serving. We're always challenging ourselves to be creative and intentional about what it is we're doing. The community sees us, we celebrate the community. We just had our 40th anniversary. And so we gave awards to the community. So it was very interesting. We're giving awards, we're receiving awards. And so there is that, you know, back and forth thing that we're doing. You know, the community sees us, we see them. And as you see behind me, it's all about teamwork makes the dream.
And you know, Marisa and Chris, maybe your organizations could work together.
I'm sure both of us were thinking the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
We absolutely are thinking the
cross
same thing.
collaboration. So,
and what you were doing as it relates to refugees was a huge thing under our previous. So every 4 years, as we get new leadership, they change, but people really got excited about that. I mean, shoes for days, eyeglasses for days, furnishing the apartment, participating with the IRC and all of those things. And then, like I mentioned in my work that I do, you know, professionally, just seeing how the impact is, we definitely need to talk. And I, you know, even with our young lady, and I keep calling young lady because I don't want to mess up your name. You know, there's always opportunities for you to come and talk with our students. And even if it's not you, some of your peers. So, you know, keep in mind that we are there in Upper Montgomery County, but we support Montgomery County, and we do a lot of partnership with our sister chapters too as well.
I was thinking the same thing, how you could help our young people just coming over. We have many teenagers, many people who feel their English is a weakness, you know, because they're learning, but they're learning fast and feel, I think, that they're in a corner of shyness. So I would love it too.
Absolutely.
Well, Chris, you mentioned that you rely heavily on volunteerism and volunteers coming in and helping you with your programs. What would you say to encourage more adults to volunteer? Because, you know, as we see, and I mentioned earlier, we find that between high school and senior retirement age, that adult, that sweet spot kind of falls off. And so you know, for various life reasons, work, taking care of children, career, whatever. What would you say to encourage more adults to volunteer?
I would say try it. I think people worry that there's going to be a long-term commitment, that it's going to be another, and I
Job.
think we can tailor things so that you can do 1 hour a month, and you can do it with your family if you need to do certain things. That there always is going to be something. But I have to say, and I'm sure everybody can say, anyone who's ever volunteered with us had said it's one of the best things they've ever done. They feel so good. I mean, we get more out of it than we put into it. And I think for everyone, just to try that. I mean, if you feel down in the dumps ever, if you do something, this is just eye-opening, that it lifts you up. Even though a lot of circumstances are sad with people and everything, you really know you made a difference. There's a lot of instant gratification.
Yes.
It's like that too, that you touch things that you're so, that your little effort made a difference to somebody and you know it. So
Yes.
I would say, cancel one trip to the mall a month. Do something. And I remember I raised a couple kids, how busy it is. You're working, you're raising kids, you're doing this and that. But I also think that, if you have service as a core part of your life, just like you have everything else, it's self-care. I think service is also self-care. So I would encourage everybody just to try it. Well, most volunteer groups I know will work with everybody to find the right thing for them,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We've
been speaking with some of our Montgomery Serves Award winners. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today and for all of your hard work throughout the year. And congratulations again.
Thank
you. We
Thank you.
appreciate spending the day or the afternoon with you.
Yes.
Everybody have a wonderful rest of the day.
You too.
I would like to mention and congratulate the other winners of the Montgomery Serves Awards that were unable to join us today. They are Simply Fresh for our Volunteer Business of the Year, and our 2 Neil Potter Path of Achievement Award winners, Carol Garvey, MD, and Leslie Bernie Ralph Jr. Next year, the Montgomery Serves Awards ceremony will be back to being held in April. Nominations will begin sometime early in the new year. There are many worthy candidates out there, so please send us your nominations. If you're interested in nominating someone for the awards or other volunteer opportunities, please visit our website at montgomeryserves.org. I'm your host, Sandy Smith. Thanks for joining us, and let's be sure to make a difference.